The honourable member for Halifax Needham.
Mr. Speaker, my question is for the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing. According to the United Nations, everyone has a right to adequate housing. But across Nova Scotia, thousands of people are being denied that right every day. More than 43% of renting households in Nova Scotia spend more than 30% of their income on rent and utilities. That's higher than the national average and represents no improvement from 6 years ago when this government took office. Mr. Speaker, does the minister think that this is an acceptable situation?
The Honourable Minister of Housing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, member, for the question. Very important topic. Mr. Speaker, we believe that every Nova Scotian deserves a safe and affordable place to call home. Mr. Speaker, we will continue to work with the agreement we have just signed and with other programs that have already been in place. We'll continue to do what we can to create, working with our partners right across this province, Mr. Speaker, whether they be private partners or whether they be not-for-profits. We're interested in having conversations with all of those to continue to grow the opportunities for people to call home here in Nova Scotia, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member for Halifax Needham.
Mr. Speaker, at least the first 3 years of the bilateral agreement on housing is not going to create new housing stock in Nova Scotia. We need a plan to ensure that people have affordable places to live now. We need to set goals and establish targets to meet them. Can the minister be honest with the House and tell us how many households will be spending?
Please. I'd like to remind the honourable member for Halifax Needham, inferring that any member of the House is not honest, is unparliamentary, and I'll ask you to retract that. And the honourable member for Halifax Needham.
I retract that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can the minister share with the House how many households will be spending more than 30% of their income on rent by the end of this government's 3-year action plan?
The Honourable Minister of Housing, Nova Scotia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and again, I thank the honourable member for the question. It is certainly a very important issue for this government in this province that we continue to do everything we can to create options for affordable housing. She's mentioned the 3-year action plan, Mr. Speaker. That is investing $88 million of matched dollars, Mr. Speaker, between the national government and our government, along with an additional $70 million, Mr. Speaker, by the province of Nova Scotia that is unmatched, that will help more than 5,500 Nova Scotia households, Mr. Speaker. Currently, Mr. Speaker, we have 17,000 people who call home living in public housing. Mr. Speaker, we will invest also from that first 3 years heavily in making sure that each and every one of those 17,000 continue to have a place to call home. Thank you.